Further talk, goddammit.
Get down,
No,
Joe!
I'll speak if I want. Goddammit, who are you? Minister of Propaganda?
Oh my God.
Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
How you doing?
For our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick heads up, this episode is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, specifically the discussion portion of the show. And if you're looking for an uncut reaction, you'll find the link to our Patreon. And we want to thank all of our patrons for subscribing and supporting us monthly. And also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, hitting the like button, and also hitting that notification bell. Okay, so before we get into this episode, Abe, can you read the comments from our previous episode?
Yes, I can. This one comes from Lil Monkey Fella, and great name. The idea for music this episode came from Chase's wife, I believe. Otherwise, it's usually Chase working with his producer and music editor, with occasional assist from Silvio's actor, Steve Van Zandt, who is a musician, who picks out the music. David Chase actually only directs 2 episodes, the pilot and the series finale, but he's very involved with the show still. The biggest tidbit that I took from that, I mean, the fact that his wife is choosing music is super interesting, but the fact that he's like, I'm gonna direct the beginning and the end, and that's it, is kind of fire. I don't know why, but it's cool to me.
Yeah.
And the next one comes from Arsalon618. Your channel's analysis of Sopranos is always interesting and on point, so I appreciate that you guys take the time to discuss what's going on, even if it means we only get 1 episode a week instead of 2. Keep up the great work. See you next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And the last one here comes from Shelby J13. This is the 25-year anniversary of The Sopranos. I assume that's why it has been on TikTok, social media more. HBO has had a few marathons of it recently. I think I knew that too. It just felt like it was all blowing up. And, you know, a lot of times shows will do anniversaries and like nobody will really care. But obviously the show is really important. So when they do an anniversary, everybody comes out of the woodwork with it, so it makes a ton of sense.
And with that being said, y'all, Charlie, episode 2 of season 3, here we go.
Proshai Livushka.
Oh, it's a new name.
Yeah. So, I mean, we saw the cover has Janice.
Yeah.
So,
Spoiler.
crazy.
Damn it, HBO Max. Come on.
I know, right? Honey roasted nuts.
Say some of these nuts.
Someone's about to get whacked.
I was going to say the same thing.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy crap. Second firebomb in Sanitation War. Jeez.
I'm not going to lie to you. The mob stuff is crazy, but the fact that it's like sanitation is the main... This man all right?
Was
Sorry.
that blood on the floor?
I have no idea. I thought it was wine. I was going to say the fact that sanitation is like the main like way that they operated is hilarious to me. I don't know why.
Oh my God, Tony! Oh my God, Tony, are you all right?
Uncle Ben.
What happened?
Spider-Man?
Oh,
That's
Whoa.
different.
Okay.
yeah.
We got another episode. That might have been like tomato juice or something.
Who's this?
Meadows' new boyfriend?
Oh my God. Probably.
I love the sound design.
Public Enemy. It's a great movie.
For a class, just finished. We're out of here.
40 grand a year to watch old movies? Who's we?
Just a friend from class, okay?
Mr. Soprano?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Noah Tannenbaum.
How you doing?
Appreciate you letting us screen here.
So you guys, you and Meadow, are you,
A little early to say.
Oh, yo.
I'm from Los Angeles, West LA.
oh, no, what I mean is,
My family's in the business.
no, what I mean is, like, we're Italian.
Oh, my dad is Jewish and my mother's family is African American.
Tannenbaum. Right. But on your application to Columbia, you didn't check Jewish, did you?
No,
What'd you check?
African American.
So we do understand each other here. You're, Ditsu.
Excuse me?
Charcoal briquette.
Oh
A
boy.
Oh
bourguignon.
my God.
Oh my God.
You see, your little friend up there, she didn't do you any favors bringing you into this house. Now, I don't know what the she was thinking. We'll get to that later. See, I got business associates who are black, and they don't want my son with their daughters, and I don't want their sons with mine.
Fuck you.
See, that's the kind of thing I'm hoping to avoid.
God, this is crazy.
So when my little girl comes down the stairs, you're going to say how nice it was to meet me. Then you're going to go drop her off at school, and you're going to say goodbye.
We're gonna drop by Hunter's. I want to meet Noah. Then we'll be back to pick up my laundry. Later, Dad.
Oof.
Oh, Tony.
He had a,
Yeah, I'm
he had a,
racist.
he had a
Yeah,
Livia, he had a Livia
literally.
moment there.
Yeah, straight up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that V8 that spilled everywhere.
Okay.
Jeez. Not the Uncle Ben Rice. Made this man famous.
Yo.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Keep playing the race card. You're gonna drive her right into his arms. Let me deal with it, if anybody's gonna deal with it.
Can't believe he saw Uncle Ben.
Yo.
I can't. That's crazy. Oh,
One of my sisters ever brought home a fucking butterhead. You know what my old man would do?
Butterhead, bro.
Yo, this
Crazy.
Tony's wild, bro. Please, bro.
I've never heard that one before.
I've never heard that either. That's crazy.
Look who come on.
Oh, now he wants to visit
Now he
his
wants
mom.
to talk to his mom.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, she just looked CGI AF right there for a second.
What do you care? Out of sight, out of mind.
Watch some books on tape.
About racism.
I wish the Lord would take me now.
Just me, as it looked like her head's floating on the body.
To finish baby journals from long time ago. My idea.
Now look here.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that kind of talk.
I see it.
Yeah, these are like lines she said before. You think, was she not around for this at this point?
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? They put you on a witness stand. Because the only reason they let you go was to get your cooperation. What are you gonna say from now on?
That's why he brought her omerta.
I never stated those tickets were stolen, capiche?
I suppose I should have just kept my mouth shut, like a mute.
In the future, any kind of deal they try to make, you keep your mouth shut.
These do all sound like lines she said before.
She has said every single one of these lines. Yeah, it's 100% like CGI'd in public.
Never seen it.
She passed away.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I imagined.
Yeah.
And instead of recasting her, they went and
CGI'd her.
Yeah.
Did you say something to Noah?
You're smart. You'll keep walking down those stairs.
What did you say? He was all quiet at Hunter. She thinks he's a snob, and now he's just sitting out in the car.
Oh, you didn't hear me? Maybe if I say it in Swahili.
Yo, Tony. Jeez, bro. Man's got a lot of hatred. Jeez.
I can only imagine if Meadow brought back like a non-light skin.
Oh my god, yeah.
It would have been even more of a
He's
disaster.
very like white passing, by the way. Like the only thing you could tell is he had curly hair.
Yeah,
Which a lot of like Jewish people have. So like it basically could have just been a white Jewish guy.
pretty much, I guess.
Oh boy.
What?
Intervention.
Ooh.
Oh, your mother died.
Oh,
You're kidding.
there it is.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Svetlana just called. She said that after dinner, your mother went upstairs to get ready for bed. When Svetlana came up, your mother was under the covers in her nightgown. Svetlana thought she was asleep.
She's dead.
I'm sorry, Dad, that your mom died.
Me too. Hey, your grandmother loved you. She loved both you two very much.
By the way, when I had looked up, all I had seen is that the actor died. I did not know that this is when they killed her off. So
Yeah, I felt like
That makes
that
sense.
was impending though.
Yeah.
'Cause the way that they did that, they could not keep going
yeah.
that way. With
Yeah,
the
no way.
CGI and the repeated lines.
No way. The viewer's not dumb.
Seems like Tony's upset instead of relieved about it, maybe.
She was in no pain, Tony.
What about the cause of death? Did they say?
Massive stroke.
What's your beef?
Asshole Robert Frost.
They always put that same Robert Frost poem in every like TV show or movie.
I've read that.
Every kid in the American school system has.
What's covering the field?
Snow.
Yay! And what does snow symbolize?
Christmas.
Slow, cold, endless white, endless nothing.
I don't know.
Death.
I thought black was death.
He has miles to go before he sleeps.
So he must be far away from his house.
The sleep of death. He's talking about his own death, which is yet to come but will come.
That's fucked up.
You remember too? He had like that existential crisis thing where he was
Yeah.
like thinking about
I thought
death
black
and
was
like.
death.
White too.
Little symbolism there. Black is death, but white is also. Uh-oh.
Grandma?
What?
Nah, fam. You that better not be.
I am curious now what the writing would have been if she lived. Hell yeah, bro.
Tony Hawk. He's like,
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. We all know how much you loved her.
I can imagine how you feel.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
I'm sorry, T.
What are you gonna do?
Nobody knows what to say because she like plotted to kill him.
At least she didn't suffer. Thank God.
That's right.
I love Silvio's like endless nodding at everything.
Yeah, he's like a bobblehead.
How's Tony taking?
I want the goddamn fucking bitch!
What do I tell my kids when their own aunt won't even come to a funeral?
Take it easy. I'll handle it.
Oh, Janice isn't coming.
Ace Garage.
You're not coming to your own mother's fucking funeral?
You may recall, Tony, that I have very good and valid reasons why I should not present myself in the state of New Jersey.
Oh, Jesus. That case is colder than your tit.
Don't do this on the damn
oh
phone.
my God, Tony.
She was your mother.
Well, you can just get on a plane, but for us working folk,
You know they got special rates for family death.
half a full fare coach, which at this late date comes to $1,100.
My God, dude. $1,100 at that time?
That's a
That is
lot of money.
very expensive.
Especially a domestic flight.
Don't come breezing in here when it comes time to carve up the estate. I know you think Ma's got money buried in the house.
What are you telling people about that other thing?
Richie vanished into the witness protection program. The Truth. Right, Janice? Does Harper know his grandmother died? Him, I'll pay for. Bring him down from Montreal. He is your son.
Hal is on the pavers, Tony. He's, a street person.
Sorry. I didn't know.
You see, you're not the only one with problems.
That was a lot of information. You
Yeah,
dropped
so
on
she
the
has
phone.
a son.
Yeah, I think
who
she's mentioned
is
that before.
Homeless, a street person. That's what she said.
I
I
guess.
don't like it.
Who's that other guy that was there with her though?
Some rando
Probably a roommate.
or her new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Well, they were wearing like the same.
They work at the
uniform?
same place, yeah.
Well, listen, Ma, I came over to give you something. Here, take this. And when you need me more, just say so. I'm making plenty. Money don't mean nothing to me.
No, I guess not. With no heart and no brains, it's all you've got. You'll need it.
Tommy.
He loves that like brotherly feud. I guess exactly what he's having with Janice.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
Whole gang.
I know how you feel. We lost Mom last year.
Carmela, she's gone.
Oh my God. Oscar-worthy Janice.
My crew is in line for the Raritan Township contract, okay?
Your what? What did you say? Who's crew?
You're the boss. You get to put in anybody you want over the crew.
You're a captain, Ralphie, when I say you're a captain.
And I'm going to turn up my hearing aid so I don't miss it.
Are you going to get cute with me? With my mother lying dead?
Raritan Township, the recycling manager over there, Joe Zachary. He knows who's in line for that contract, but he keeps playing footsie with Albert. The next minute, he's threatening to go to the EPA, bust us all.
He said that? I fix it. No more fires.
He's got feuds within his own family.
I'm gonna do Spanish. I'll meet you by the trophy case. How could we possibly get busted?
He's right next to the lamp.
You're gonna go smoke or something.
And we're not envisioning any visitation hours for Mom?
Well, you see, she didn't want any service of any kind.
I find that hard to accept.
You're not having a funeral, Mass? And I'm not trying to sell here.
Well, I thought maybe we'd have a shindig at the house, you know.
I mean, I do know what Mom's wishes were, but not to have a wake or a funeral. I mean, makes us look like we're unloving children, not to mention cheapskates.
Who gives a shit what it looks like? The woman expressed her wishes.
I wish to honor my mother.
There's a lot of things I could say right now that I'm not going to say.
He's right.
All right, fine. You want to do something? Let's just do it. Let's just stop talking about it. Cosarelli, you arrange everything. The wake, your funeral, you send me the bill.
I'll do a painting for the overleaf for the program at the service. Motifs from the Mexican Day of the Dead.
Oh my God.
One thing that I'd like to suggest very strongly is at the house, everyone gathers and each one can voice a remembrance or a feeling about Mom.
The way her tone completely shifts and everything.
This is going to be an interesting discussion. Maybe he's not going to say anything.
I'm glad she's dead. Not just glad, I wished she'd die. Got this court case coming up. She might have testified against me. So when I heard she was dead, relief flooded into my veins.
Yeah, this is a defense mechanism.
How do you feel about the fact that your own mother would have testified against you?
Oh, come on. Will you listen to yourself? Is that right? Wishing her dead? That being a good son?
A good son?
I mean, bad sons,
Bad sons what?
they should fucking die. That's a fucking miserable, disgusting thing to be, a bad son. You know what? You're right. Why the fuck should I be a good son to that fucking demented old bat, that fucking selfish, miserable cunt? She ruined my father's life.
But he wasn't her son. What did she do to you?
Who knows if she even knew what she was doing?
You're letting her off.
Uncle denies it, you know, that she took part.
Grown children often secretly wish for an aged parent to die, and it's not necessary for the parent to be a witness for the prosecution. It's a taboo thought, but common, particularly if the parent has lost all capacity for joy at being alive.
Yeah, that's gotta be really tough.
So we're probably done here, right? She's dead.
I see what he was saying.
She's like the root cause of everything. She's trying to find money or something, bro. Hidden in the walls.
None of my childhood schoolwork or artwork or anything for that matter is here anymore, nor Barb's.
Just Tony's.
Well, take a look. They only saved yours.
What are you talking about? Here's Barbara's communion certificate. Here's her baby shoe.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing of mine.
Yeah, no shit.
This just reminds me of the last time they were at a funeral and she was like in the background, like pissed. No, she was like crying, like putting on a show.
Oh,
basically.
yes, that's right, that's right.
Fucking motherfucking pain a fucking ass.
He can't get his cufflinks on.
For this shit, I missed the Jets' first home game.
Ceremony might happen.
Bruh, what? No, it was a Christopher, of course.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, they're mixing weed and coke. Oh my God.
Before the
That's
funeral.
crazy. Literally before a funeral.
Crazy.
Pupil's gonna look crazy.
God, bro. The FBI.
Yo,
Nah, stop it. Uncle Junior. I was wondering what his reaction would be.
What a fucking blow.
Not you, too.
I'm serious. She's my sister-in-law, for Christ's sake. My dad's very ill, too.
Tony, allow me to express my condolences and those of the 8th Ward.
Thank you, Assemblyman.
I met your mom once or twice. I was a proud Newarker.
Oh, hey,
Reverend. My sympathies, Tony. We talked about this day, did we not? Yes, we go way back. How are you, Assemblyman?
Interesting why it was cut in the meadow.
Yeah.
I gotta talk to that wife of yours first.
Uncle Joe, come on.
This is a funeral. Enough of her soigne attitude.
Oh my God, this is not the time.
What do you want?
I'm hoping that we can use this sad occasion to put bitterness and sore-headed feelings aside.
Behave how Tony wants. I want to add to his stress.
There they are.
Hi, Uncle June.
Hey, Uncle Joe.
How's that surfboard I gave you?
Ow.
I mean, hasn't been out of the house in a minute. He's acting all kinds of weird.
Rafi Cifaretto. He got word to me.
But what does he want?
He wants to bump up the captain. The kid's been a top f***ing earner ever since that rat bastard went in the program. You can't deny it. Rafi's whipped Richie's crew into shape over there.
And 3 months ago, by you, the rat bastard was the second fucking coming. Why do you do this to me?
Because I'm the boss of this family. You forget.
I forget nothing.
So Tony knows that Reverend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been in an episode.
That's what I thought. They were doing like money laundering stuff.
Yeah, he told the kid. He told what's his name? Kid that was with Meadow. I have associates who are black. Blah blah blah.
Right.
They don't want their kids. That was who he was referencing.
Exactly.
Oh boy, no fires. Tony doesn't want any fires.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ. Did we just discover a new villain?
Yeah. I mean, that's the guy who wants to get bumped up to captain, right? That Junior was talking about.
There's very few people who like openly and to his face defy Tony, and that guy, one of them. Him, Richie.
This is a callback to season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keep doing this.
Whose funeral was that?
Can't remember.
Oh, was it Jackie's?
It was the friend who had cancer,
Jackie's,
right?
yeah, it was
Jackie's
Jackie's
funeral.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to be needing your services anymore, obviously. I'll be moving into the house, so...
She's already moving. Yeah.
Bro, she's literally...
Speaking of which, my mom had this kind of extensive record collection. Caruso, Robert Merrill. Do you know where they are?
She gave to me those records.
What?
She know I like American chart tunes, so she give to me. I didn't ask her.
But those are my mother's records.
I don't want to make a trouble, but Miss Janice, I feel I have to respect her wishes.
Oh, come on. This is just about you bogarting those discs for your ass. They're worth a fortune to the right collector.
I will not answer such here.
I want the entire discography back at the house by this weekend.
Jesus Christ. Here we go. Old Janice is back.
Oh, yeah.
Tony called it too. He literally told her on the phone, this is what she would do.
How are you?
Oh, it's a callback.
Oh, what's the matter?
After what my son did to you, oh, how can I look you in the face?
What did he do now?
You don't blame him for setting the fire?
Artie, what are you doing?
Oh, he's remembering.
Look at her. She's already becoming a robot. Like the rest of us.
I'm so sorry about your grandma.
At least she didn't suffer.
All our innocence is gone.
I was going to say, this is like the opposite of what happened season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was AJ who was, kind of having those looks.
This is a survivor show. Somebody should find the winner, stick a pistol in the face.
Oh, did you see that?
Wait, the mirror.
The mirror. That was pussy. That was pussy. He said, look at the mirrors. That was pussy.
Oh, yeah, this is the episode, right?
Yeah.
This is the episode. I missed it.
It was pussy. It was pussy. It was pussy.
At this time, we would like to ask you all to join us in the great room so that we can all be together and share a remembrance or a feeling about the woman who has brought us all here today.
She's such an ass, bro. I hate her.
We can all take a break from eating for 5 minutes. It won't kill us.
Tasteful.
Most of you will probably remember that this was her favorite song. I thought it might help us get rolling.
She's like doing all this to like, be like, I loved mom so much. I deserve everything she left behind. Like, bro, you're not slick.
But let's be honest, we all have.
There's absolutely.
Yeah, they're boofed.
They're zonked, bro.
She's laughing. She started laughing.
Oh. Let's be real. We all have this family member that does shit like this.
Oh my god.
It's like let's sing a song right now in this moment.
Someone came down the stairs and went.
That would be me.
Yep.
Way to make it awkward, Janice.
I would start clapping because I wouldn't know what the fuck to do at this moment.
Herman? Rapkin? You two went back almost to the pyramid?
Jesus.
Bro, she's so annoying. Shut up.
I guess what struck me most was she didn't mince words.
People hated her.
Between brain and mouth, there was no interlocutor.
He's trying his best not to say something.
I think
Anthony Jr.
Janice just trying to.
Oh my god.
Oh
bro.
my
Why? Why? Poor kid.
I don't know what to say.
Lay off him, Janice. Move on.
She was my best friend. If anybody died or was in the hospital, I could be sure I'd get a call from Lee letting me know.
Who?
I guess that's her nickname for Livia, Lee or something. But she's basically just being like she was a good gossiper, essentially. Somebody died in the hospital or left. She would call me and tell me.
That facial expression was crazy. Oh my gosh, Tony.
Why she make this about her?
When I was a child, my mother didn't let me rest on those laurels.
Oh no, oh no.
I think I would start cracking up. Like, I'll start just dying laughing.
Maybe you'd like to tell them how Ma saved all your childhood schoolwork and varsity leathers and none of mine or Barbara's.
Oh my, yo.
You just did. Wrap it up, Janice.
She's making herself look like the biggest, like, ass ever, bro. She's looking so stupid.
They say no two people on Earth exactly the same. No two faces, no two sets of fingerprints. But do they know that for sure? Because they would have to get everybody together in one huge space. And obviously that's not possible, even with computers.
Bruh.
And not only that, they'd have to get all the people who ever lived, not just the ones now. So they got no proof. They got nothing.
Is it bad that I'm dying?
No,
Like,
bro, this is hilarious.
Hey.
He looks like he's pissed, bro.
Yeah.
So tell them she's dead.
What?
I guess our little secret dies with her.
I picked that up.
Everybody's in there telling stories of her. I got a butte.
Artie.
He's been drinking.
Artie, don't talk about that.
No way is Artie gonna
he's
do
gonna
that.
spill the
No
beans.
way. He's still going.
Maybe not with the same fears and paranoia, but
How has no one stopped this man?
This is such a crock of shit.
Carmela.
There we
I'm
go.
sitting here thinking I should protect my children from the truth about their grandmother on the one hand. On the other, I'm saying to myself, what kind of example am I setting over a woman that we all know was terribly dysfunctional, who spread no cheer at all?
Carmela, be quiet.
This is my house.
I'm leaving.
Let her talk, goddammit.
Get down,
No,
you!
I'll speak if I want. Goddammit, who are you? Minister of propaganda?
Oh.
We suffered for years under the yoke of that woman. Years. Just strangers from our own daughter.
Now we're getting interesting.
here, here.
From beyond the grave, even. This is a woman who didn't want a funeral. You all, her children, you ignored her wishes. Only after she's dead, by the way. She didn't want a remembrance of any kind.
Do you think she realized that she was a piece of, yeah.
Everyone would say shit things about her.
She wouldn't write down her memories for her grandchildren because she figured nobody loved her enough to read them. She knew there was a problem.
Here, here. Good job, Janice.
There's desserts in the dining room if anybody wants some.
What a funeral, man.
No, no, Tommy boy. You're my baby. You're going to get well and strong.
They're bringing Tom home.
They are when?
Right now, he's on his way.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'll get his room ready. I knew my baby would come home.
Oh my God.
Wow. Livia has passed in this season. And what Abe searched while we were watching this episode was that the actress also passed away prior to shooting that specific episode, right?
Yeah, so I'll read what I found. It's from Screen Rant. It says, one of the most memorable and odd moments in The Sopranos was the bizarre CGI Livia Soprano, Nancy Marchand, who's the actress, who appeared in season 3, which led many viewers to question why the showrunner David Chase included the scene. Tragically, Marchand died during the show's run, which led to The Sopranos killing off her character off screen, leaving Tony distraught. Many major cast members meet their end in The Sopranos, but the death of Tony Soprano's mother undoubtedly affected him the most. So, yeah, I think it seems like it wasn't their intention to... I mean, nobody could have predicted her dying, is what I mean. Yeah. And this wasn't the way that they were going to write the show, but they were kind of forced to write it because the actress died. So it's really interesting because how do you go into a season like this? And I just got distracted. I'm so sorry because the credits literally have pussy right there.
Yeah.
Pussy bump.
Yeah, it just has him included there.
Did you guys see him?
I saw briefly something, but I didn't like actually
it was
catch
pussy,
it.
yeah.
But
now I'm trying to figure out. Now I'm looking at. I want to look if they're.
Yeah, let's go back.
So
to
dumb. We forgot about that comment.
No,
and
yeah.
I caught
Sorry,
it.
the guy.
But I thought,
and he always caught. Oh
I
my god.
thought
There it was.
he said that it was episode 3, so I wasn't really like.
No, it's episode 2.
Boom.
Oh, yeah,
Right there.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's another big hint at the end because if you look at the credits, it literally says Pussy Bumpin' Cero, played by, I forget the actor's name. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I saw that there and I was like, damn, the show's like throwing it in your face almost, but that's crazy. Shout out to the person who commented a million times for us to catch that. But the moral of the story, what I was trying to say is this is a completely different way that I'm assuming they had intended to write the story because of the death of the actress, Nancy Marchand. So interesting to see. I wonder if there's anything out there that tells us what it would have been like to include Livia throughout the rest of the show if she had lasted that long.
First of all, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yes.
And wow, before we dive deep, I just want to ask you guys, what has been a memorable moment about Livia's character these first 3 seasons that stood out to you and how she's been written? Because she is a villain or an antagonist that is, I don't think TV has seen her like that. She is, bro, the influence that she has as an elderly woman in this narrative is crazy. Just by her voice and her actions through what she speaks and communicates, she has so much influence. So I'm just wondering what stood out to you from her character that we've seen from these 3 seasons.
I mean, there's the piece of just like how she speaks, but also just the importance of her in general. We see this kind of like matriarch and how she plays a role in the mob life, right? She's an old lady who's like losing it, but because of who she is, being Tony's mother, the wife of Johnny Soprano, like she has so much influence still, even though people hate her. Like she had to have been respected in some regards, right? You see like Artie going to visit her in the hospital and her like telling on Tony basically, and then you also see all of the ways that she's like treated her children, plotting basically Tony's death, even though she probably denies it, and Junior denies it and all that. Like she's crazy. She was insane, and she is central to the story. Without her, you don't have half of the character building of Tony, because the majority of the way that he is comes from his upbringing, his relationship with his mom, and just the awful things that Livia had done in general and how she raised her kids. So it's a villain that was very necessary for the character building of the protagonist.
Yeah, that's true. Charlie, anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm in agreement. You said everything.
Yeah. Going with what Tony was watching throughout this entire episode, he was watching a movie, which was Public Enemy. Charlie, I want to start off with you. What was the similarities of Tony watching this episode and to the events that were occurring in this episode that stood out to you?
I mean, the things I caught were like brotherly feud. So him and Janice going at it probably their whole lives, right? One of them, I think, like slapped money in his face, which Tony's always doing to Janice, because it feels like he always has to fix her problems. And then, there was a very happy mother in the movie as well, who was like doing the household chores and, always in a good mood, upbeat. And he probably just looks at that and wishes his mother was like that. That's what I got from that. But yeah, that I feel like I'm trying to grasp the death part, because I'm not too sure what exactly they were trying to imply by showing that section of it, because that in the movie that he was watching, that was the brother of the character that died.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're like all excited, like, oh, they're bringing him home, but it looked like they brought him home dead, just falls flat on his face. So I don't know if that's supposed to imply like one of them is going to pass, or if it was just, resemblance of hate, like Livia passed in this episode. I'm not sure exactly where they were going with that one, but I thought that was an interesting one that was included as well.
Yeah, I don't have a strong grasp as to why that scene or what symbolism that is parallel to in the Sopranos world, but I think the main thing about the mom, like Charlie mentioned, is like she's happy, and she also is like bringing the family together. Like that was the biggest like role that she had, was like trying to end the feud. She was like in the hospital scene being like, I'm almost glad this happened because we're all here together. The complete antithesis of Livia.
Yeah.
Like Livia like breaks people apart intentionally.
Yep.
And creates feuds rather than solves them. And I think that last scene, you can see Tony like seeing this woman smiling, her son's coming home and all that stuff. And he had never once received that reception from his mom. You know what I mean? And nobody in his family did. And I think that caused him to really sit with the fact that like, yeah, I mean, she wasn't a good person. And you know what? I want to miss her. I want to feel sad because she died, but I can't because she wasn't a good mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And another aspect that was revealed about Livia and Tony's dynamic was that she kept all of Tony's schoolwork, and all his lettering from
Letterman's,
from his letter jacket, I believe, from when he played in football. But she didn't keep Barb's or Janice's stuff. What does that what stood out to you about that? Is that kind of signaling that maybe Tony was her favorite, or is it too complicated to digest what the dynamic was?
So here's what I get from it, right? If you look at the children, the way that Livia was with her kids, both of Janice and Barb left. You know what I mean? Like both of them had at some point left, and I think Livia harnessed some like resentment towards that. The only one who really stayed and cared for her at some level, even though at some point like Tony was getting sick of her, was Tony. And I think that has to do with the fact that she, was like kept his things as like, oh, you're the only one who really didn't like leave me or betray me. Even though that's kind of like the theme of her character, like she was always like basically whining and complaining like nobody cares about me, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. But like deep down, like she knew Tony cared. She just didn't know how to receive that and or express gratitude for that. And I think that's to me the symbolism of why she kept Tony's stuff and not the other kids.
Yeah, she was a character who took it really hard to accept love from others. It was just she couldn't just accept it. She always had to give a negative comment back or kind of throw it to the side.
Yeah.
Charlie, any aspect added to that? Do you want to?
No.
I
agree with everything.
It was like we got so many things revealed about Livia that confirmed that we have seen throughout, and I found it really fascinating, that specific dynamic where the kind of goes back to how from this entire season, Tony's been the one who's been around trying to do something for her, but we knew that their relationship was horrendous, right?
Yeah. And the whole like good son dynamic in this episode where he was talking about, you better be a good son. That was his whole thing. Like that's all he tried to do was be a good son. Janice never did that because when she was there caring for her mother, she always had ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Tony never did. Like his whole thing was literally just like, how do I keep my mom happy? And the only reason that he wasn't able to try harder is because his mom worked so hard to push him away and to, create a unstable and toxic family dynamic.
Mm-hmm. And we see in Charlie specifically, we see in the conversation he has with Dr. Melfi, where he tells her, I'm good then, right? My mother's gone. Yeah. Everything is good. But everything is not good, right?
No.
Why do you think everything?
There's more than just Livia being the issue, It's everything about his life, his upbringing, like just being involved in the mob in general, his relationship with his children, with his wife. Like there's more than just his mother. I'm sure his mother is like one of the root causes.
Yeah,
but
she's definitely a catalyst for it.
There's more than one root cause, I think. If that.
What else would you call it a root cause other than the mob piece?
His entire upbringing, I would say. But like that's not just Livia. I think it's also Janice. It's also his father, which we haven't gotten too much backstory on the father because the father's dead from the beginning of the show. But Janice is another big one. She's still around, and she's basically a second Livia in his life, in my opinion. So his mother died, but she's very much, her spirit is still alive within Livia, and it's going to give Tony a hard time. Janice. Livia has passed, but Janice is still basically a copy of their mother.
I won't 100% agree with you on a couple of things. So the first thing is, in terms of Livia, I do think the biggest issue that Tony is confronting is that, like, she is the main central root cause for the way that his life is. We talk about his upbringing. In the flashback that we saw, we really don't see him and his dad. We saw really Barb and the relationship she had with her dad, and almost like Tony was like cast out of that. And
Janice.
Oh, was it Janice?
Yeah, it's Janice.
Sorry, I didn't know if it was Janice or Barb. So Janice with his dad, and Tony didn't really have a relationship, but we saw how close Tony was with his mom and how horrible that was for him growing up. So I think that was very intentional in showing us, like, all of this is Livia is the root cause. I don't think Janice is a copy of Livia. I think she's actually a very different character. I also think Janice is the way she is as a result of the way that she was raised by Livia and by her dad. And she turned out a different way because she left early. And I think she has this, like, she has this somewhat similar to Livia in the sense where, like, she wants people to do things for her without being kind or reciprocating those things back. But I think it's deeper than that. I think that's like learned behavior. And I don't think that I think she wants to be liked, and I think she wants to be loved. Livia couldn't give a shit. Livia, if everyone says they hate her, she'll be like, oh yeah, everybody hates me. Like, I know that, you know what I mean? Like, Janice will never confront that stuff.
Let me clarify then. She's a copy of Livia when it comes to being a manipulative person. That's what I mean. She is very much a manipulator, just like Livia is. Livia is like scheming behind the scenes and like planting seeds here and there. Janice is the same way.
Yeah, but she's not as good as Livia.
No. Janice is like very upfront about it, whereas Livia is like pretty discreet, like doing her little thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah, I think manipulation is something that will run in the family. So
yeah,
I can see that part.
And also, the reason I say not just Livia is a cause, it's because Tony not having the relationship with his father, from what we saw from flashbacks of him being a kid, he wasn't really super involved in the mob stuff. He would just see it at a distance from his dad. So it's not like he has the full grasp on what it's really like, as a child. But obviously, being in the family that he's in, he's naturally just going to grow into that. Yeah. We're seeing the same thing with AJ right now, too. I would not be surprised if AJ eventually slowly transitions into some sort of mob activity, although it feels like his character could be resistant to that kind of stuff. But
and I also think
I could see him having the same trajectory as Tony.
And I also think Tony has a little bit of hesitancy for him to even get into that life
in the
first place.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah,
I'm sure so did Tony's dad and
maybe that's
probably,
and maybe that's why Tony and AJ's relationship is the way that it is. His dad kind of kept him at a distance on purpose.
And that's why I'm saying, like, it's not just Livia. His dad, his relationship with his father, he's having a similar thing right now as well with his own son.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things at play. But I would agree, Livia is like probably the number one cause of all his problems.
I think all the things that you said played into the situation, and then he was left with Livia. Like, and that was the main, like, upbringing that he had, and I think that's the most difficult piece.
Switching it up a little bit, the one thing that I noticed as well that I appreciated as a show running aspect is, like, this episode felt like it was supposed to be a tribute to the actress, but at the same time they had to focus on the story and who her character was. So there were points of the story where it was like, it felt like everybody was down, they were sad, almost looking up to her in a way, and then you got that switch up and remembering, like, oh wait, she is still this character in The Sopranos, and she is horrible.
Yeah, maybe
so to balance that is very difficult.
Even as, like, when you're an actor coming into a show like this, knowing that you are also grieving a coworker, but you have to get in character to the character, to the coworker, like, that has
how hard is that?
Crazy.
How hard is that for Carmela to do what she did, where it's like this person just passed, but we still have to remain in character, and I have to talk shit about this person who just died.
Yeah, that's tough. I would bet that there's like a tribute video from the actual actors, like to Nancy Marchand. Like, there's just no way, because I agree with what you guys are saying. Like, what they're doing is incredibly hard, and it could almost feel wrong. I'm sure, in that sense. But I mean, I wouldn't expect it to go any other way because of the way that Livia's character was and how it played out within the story.
I have sorry.
Go ahead.
You can go.
No, go ahead.
My other question would be, do you guys think they had the correct approach with the CGI fill-in, or would you have done it differently?
Yeah, I maybe would have just not even kept it in there at all.
Probably would have just started the episode off with like, oh, your mother died.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think so. Or like
because here's the thing. Whatever year that was that this season came out, 2001, 2002, whatever it was, I don't know if because we're also getting the remastered version, so I think it's going to look more out of place in CGI versus what people saw originally. So maybe it maybe it wasn't as bad for them seeing it when it first came out, but
I'll say this. To me, the CGI is one thing that takes you out. The thing that takes me out the most is the repeated lines. The lines that clearly are stuff that we've heard her say word for word before. And that's the piece that I think I would have maybe removed, is maybe you have Tony seeing her for the last time as CGI, but maybe she doesn't say anything, or maybe like it's like a fleeting moment where he's like, oh, I'll go talk to her, but he's like, oh, no, never mind. And then she dies. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the part that takes me out the most is that it was very clearly like, okay, we've seen this before. Something is up. You know what I mean? And it was very obvious to us that something was wrong.
Right. Yeah. It's tough because they had to make do with the technology they had at the time,
100%.
and it's not like they could do like a Paul Walker type thing that they did.
No. I just think with the resources that they had at the time and budget wise, I think they did it well. I think everything that they brought in, I think, made sense to the narrative and to what they were presenting.
Definitely caught me off guard though. I was like, bro, is her head floating?
No, yeah, something was off. Yeah, but I just think in terms of the narrative and what they brought into this episode, I think they did it well.
Because my immediate thought when I saw that was like, oh, there's something off. Like, they're not going to continue this. Like, she's going to die. That's what I was thinking in the back of my head, because they could not. Like, the good thing I would say is they kept it as short as they did. Like, they didn't overdo it. They could have gone a lot longer in the episode with the CGI stuff, but keeping it that concise within that one scene, great.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. It's hard. It's hard in this because when an actress like that dies, like, you want to do her justice and not just like completely, oh, the character's absolutely gone. You know what I mean? So it's a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
I think if I was, again, I'm not David Chase. This is a brilliant show. I couldn't do the show. That's the copyright.
Right.
I would have done it differently, I think. I wouldn't have even shown her. I maybe would have shown her like from the back, and maybe Tony is like considering going to talk to her, and then he doesn't, and then he finds out that she dies, like something like that. Because I think the CGI takes me out of it a little bit, and the repeated lines. But that's just me. But again, I am glad that they kept it short and to the point, because if they had like dragged it out, it would have been like very very tough to watch, I think.
Can we talk about the mirror?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think that implies? Because I don't
I
don't really have any ideas. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
We're at a funeral setting for someone who doesn't deserve it. And while Pussy was a rat and was somebody who at the end betrayed the family and the mob, he was one of Tony's best friends, and he didn't get this kind of send-off. And it's almost like this thing that's haunting him, like looking over him, of like, damn, you have this guilt now of a friend that you killed, and that you have to live with that on your shoulders. That's what I saw from that. And I think that this is going to imply that Pussy is going to continue to kind of haunt Tony in a sense. And maybe the others. Maybe also Paulie and Silvio.
Yeah, the way I'm still I see that as well. And I also see it as Tony's still grieving him.
Yeah.
And he's not forgotten about him.
100%.
And I think to have his mom also pass away, it kind of probably added more to it. And, I think he's just reminding himself of exactly what pussy was for him in his life.
Yeah.
Which is, oh my gosh, I can't. Wow. Now I'm trying to figure out in this episode if there was more mirrors that we were supposed to look at.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Could be. I don't know. But
that was the big one, and we caught that one.
Yeah. You caught it. Good job.
Yeah.
Wow. So the scene where Janice invites everyone over and is like, "All right, guys, let's talk about Livia."
Swear to God, I'm gonna punch Janice in the face.
Carmela was very blunt. She was over it.
Yep.
And then that's when people added their opinions. Carmela's father and everyone.
Yep.
But why do you think Janice wanted to do that? I think you had an idea as to why, but why do you think Janice was doing all this?
She is trying to show she's like virtue signaling in this point. Like, she's trying to show she's the good daughter and that she did all this for mom and she kind of deserves some sort of appreciation for that, whether it be people being like, "Oh, Janice, good job," or whether it be like, "Oh, Janice, you clearly cared about mom so much. How about you get everything that's part of her estate?" Because we know that those are Janice's motives. And I think that was the angle that she was taking. And I also think there's a little bit of the whole, "Oh, well, she only kept Tony stuff." Like, she even said that, right? I think there's a little bit of jealousy that kind of caused her to do this. And she's almost like doing it in spite a little bit. And that's what I saw from it is just like she's doing it for all of the wrong reasons, clearly.
Yeah.
Because they all know, like, I think the one who has honestly the most genuine sadness and confliction over this is Barb. You see her kind of crying and like not really knowing what to do. And she knows obviously Livia was a tough person to love, but Janice was the most inauthentic and, like, to me, disrespectful. Like, it's almost worse to try to make somebody who was a bad person like into something good after the fact. Like, don't be lying. You know what I mean? Just keep it cordial. If you're gonna do something like this, do it as everybody else was doing. Like, just kind of have something in her remembrance. But like, you don't gotta go ahead and try to make up stories of what they were good. She was an asshole. Like, let's be completely real. Livia sucked, and everybody knew that.
Yeah. So would you have done what the siblings did? Would you have done a funeral even though the mother said, "I don't want a funeral"?
No, bro. That's the most disrespectful thing about this. And Carmela pointed at literally each of them, like, her children went against her wishes. And I think that is the level of respect that you need to have. Even if though Livia was a bad person, she told you she didn't want a funeral, respect that choice. Because there's a reason why she didn't want a funeral. And it's because of what we talked about. Like, nobody here has anything good to say about her. Why would she want that in her memory?
It leads towards Carmela saying all the shit she said.
Yeah.
And then everybody else going off.
And you can't blame her. You know what I mean? Like,
and then Christopher going on a high tangent about
brother was
fingerprints and all the people in the world.
Brother was
and whatnot.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
that's what Livia wanted to avoid,
Yeah, but what they were scared about was their image. They didn't want to have the Sopranos image ruined.
That's what Janice was.
She was like, people are gonna say something. People are gonna yada yada yada. But from the community that they're part of, my understanding is that a lot of people know that Livia is.
Everybody here knows. If they didn't have a funeral, bro, they would have been like, yeah. They could have literally just had like a small little like mass like they did in the beginning, and then had just like the family and the burial, called it a day.
Yeah,
been done.
That's true.
Done something privately.
Yeah. Pay your respects, but like, you don't gotta make stuff up to make them out to seem like a good person. Because guess what, she was not.
Or they could have done what they did to Pussy and just dump her body in the ocean.
Crazy. That's wild. That is wild.
So two more things we gotta discuss, and then we'll close it. But in the beginning of the episode, Meadow is with a friend, boyfriend,
black friend.
Yeah, a black friend, and we know where this was going. Tony is racist. We know this, and that dynamic is still developing as well. And Charlie, what stood out to you when we saw that introduction to the new friend, and also Meadow being in college, so she's gonna
I think it's two things. I think it's Tony is racist, just like his mother.
Yeah.
And also he's being overprotective of Meadow because like I feel as though he would have a problem no matter what boy she brings home or whatever. I don't think he wants her to grow up and have a boyfriend, but the fact that it was, somebody of a different race was the cherry on top for him and made him act way out of control.
Man had a panic attack.
Yeah. Man had a panic attack looking at the Uncle Ben's rice.
That is crazy.
Box,
that is
bro.
wild, dude.
So crazy.
And that's why. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Why he was saying Uncle Ben?
Yeah.
On the floor. Yeah, okay. Because you were like Spider-Man.
Literally.
And I was
like, what are we talking about?
That's what I thought too at first.
And then I remember that there's a
hilarious.
brand Uncle Ben. For me, I thought it was like, now having watched the episode, I'm like, oh, this is kind of an ode to Livia. Like this is how she would have reacted if Janice had brought home a black boy. So like mother, like son. And I think that's one of the kind of main highlights here. But yeah, I do think there's a little bit of a racial element to this that I'm wondering how it'll progress and whether that's going to be still continuing to be part of the main storyline. But in the essence of all of it, I see the protectiveness of Meadow, of course, and then I also see the kind of ode to Livia in that sense.
Yeah, because throughout the entire episode, Meadow was pissed.
Oh yeah, she was
Meadow
tight.
was pissed at him.
Yeah.
And I think she knew why. She just wanted to know what Tony said to him. And then we also get that scene with AJ reading the Frost poem, right? Robert Frost's poem. And what'd you guys see from that? Because it got a moment where it could have gone more spiritual, right? Because he went down, he heard some noises, and he was like, "Grandma." So do you think he's gonna head towards that existential crisis that he was having in season 2, or it was just a moment of him remembering Livia?
Yeah, I think AJ sometimes has these thoughts and these feelings that he doesn't quite understand. In terms of like life, death, and like the meaning of everything, because that Robert Frost poem is a little bit of like an existential crisis in a sense. Like the miles I go before I sleep, and Meadow was kind of breaking it all down in terms of like the long sleep, death. It's got a long way to go for like all of this, and like kind of what is the point? And I think that points back to some of the existential crisis stuff that AJ was having in the past seasons. And I think that Livia and her dying and all that stuff plays a big role in that. And then again, when Janice kind of calls him out to say something in the thing, he's like, I don't know what to say, because I think he truly does not fully grasp like life, death, life, and what it all means. I think it's just another, pointing to him having this crisis of understanding what this all is about.
Yeah. And then while all this was happening, we were maybe introduced to the new villain this season, to Tony's new one-on-one man, the guy that he's going to go against.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily as clear as a one-on-one in terms of like how it was with Richie. I don't remember the character's name. Apologies, guys.
Philly or something like that?
I'm not sure. But I know that it does seem like another problem. Like we there's always an internal problem. You know what I mean? And again, I think we've been introduced to 2 internal problems, because we saw that one, I can't remember the other guy's name with the glasses. It's so bad. But the guy who was collecting the money from the game, the last episode.
Patsy?
Is it Patsy?
Yeah.
Is it Patsy or Patsy's brother?
It's Patsy, I think.
Patsy.
The guy with the glasses you're talking about.
The guy with the glasses.
Yeah, Patsy, yeah.
Clearly he's informing.
That's Patsy.
Yeah, he's informing. We saw that because he was asking the agent, like, do you want me to wear a wire for the funeral and all that stuff. So that's the one internal problem. And then this guy right here, who, do we know his name?
I think it's Philly or Ralphie or something like that. Can't remember.
He seems like the other internal problem that he's going to have, of people kind of warring within the family and causing problems for Tony.
Yeah.
So
what's so fascinating about this episode and what goes down is that the basic premise is that, they're grieving Livia, and Livia is the main character of this episode. That is the forefront of the funeral. But while this is all happening, the show will remind you, hey, don't forget, this is a mob family. So they'll throw you that scene where they went in and they, I think they knocked some guys out. Kind of reminded you, hey guys, don't forget about this. This is a mob show. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, for sure.
But with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this reaction. We love you guys and see you soon for more Tony Tuesday.
Thank you.
Stay beautiful.
Peace.